I wish this month would last forever. A month where us chalk donkeys get there every fucking week. These GPP slappies galaxy braining themselves off the best plays. Those fucking idiots. Long live Choctober.
I suffer from a debilitating condition known as atropic chokitis.
Peter's one of the greatest depositors I've ever seen.
Trust the process. Let's go. Let's go.
I got auto matched with Levitan. This is bullshit.
If I just go the other way, in that 66, I win all the money. All the money.
If I had 150 lineups, I'd win too.
Process over results.
Illuminati make a bitch go crazy. I don't know which one of these my baby. Bust down AP, coach 5 bullets in your head like KD. Bust it, bitch go bust it. And I had 10 pints with me in Russia.
Hey everyone.
Hey everyone. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the show in that mask. Just trying to connect to the right Bluetooth device. Was struggling. One sec. We got to get situated here. We got to get situated. I don't know why I wear my headphones. I don't need them for this show. And yet I do. GMs. How are we doing? GMs all around. Everyone make all kinds of money yesterday. How did we do? I think I need to pour some coffee, get off on the right foot here. Why won't this headphone turn on? All right, AJ, we're going to give it to you. I've only had one cup of coffee this morning. So this one's going to hit real well. Here we go. That cup of coffee is pouring one off for Choctober. Choctober had its month. It's GPP Bro November. It's Galaxy Brain November. We're going to have to find, can someone come up with a better alliterative hook for why the GPP Bros are going to rise again in November? The Pico lost all the money, had multiple lineups, over 165 points with $0. Wait till you guys see the tilt on my spy team that min cashed a fucking Reignmakers pack. I was actually going to get, the super unsatisfying 1.5x min cash until that Kenneth Walker TD. It was just a brutal day. It wasn't as tilting. Like, it's not as tilting when your points are actually flowing in. It was a fun 1 p.m. slate. If you're going to rank like all the levels of tilt, right? It's like chalk smashes and GPP plays fail. That's still number one, I think. Chalk fails and GPP plays fail. That's still probably number 2. That one tilts me. This was a demoralizing week, but it's not quite up there with the other weeks as far as how demoralizing they've been. All right, we're going to have to work on this. GPP Brovember getting the poor stamp of approval from Laura here. No chalk November. I like that, Magnus. That has a ring to it. Hope had a Tua Tyreek Waddle Foreman early and didn't min cash in the red zone. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting yesterday. Is this the Easy? The Deposit Kingdoms? Easy, I swear to God, you have a new name on YouTube, a new name on Discord every 4 days. Takes me back to the NFT bull run when everyone would change their profile pictures every 4 hours. Phil says, lately I've been galaxy braining everything. And when I look at the winners, I'm like, wow, that seems easy. I looked at the winning lineup yesterday. It did not seem easy to me. Did you guys see that winning Millie Maker lineup? 2 a double stack with no bring back, 2 Jets with no bring back. That doesn't seem easy to me. My peanut-sized brain is never landing on that lineup. All right, let's get into it. Let's review here. This was my main team in the big spy, which Easy, you called me out on it a couple weeks ago. It truly is a garbage contest. It's specifically a garbage contest when they fucking take some of the money out and give them to Reignmakers packs. I mean, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. I'm taking the L on that. I think I might have to. I've been so committed to this spy bit. Like, I have this nostalgia factor to playing this contest and wanting to ship it. But I might have to abandon it. I might have to just start playing like the Wildcat or something like that without just a fucking bullshit structure. So here's this team. And I ended up not doing any late swaps on it. I actually considered it. But then when I realized that McCaffrey was kind of the main leverage spot late, and there were really just no good punts down there, my hands were kind of tied. The balanced version of this, so I have the Christian McCaffrey, Van Jefferson. God damn it, I'm going a million miles an hour. Let me set the table here. So this lineup was a Jalen Hurts double stack with AJ Brown and Dallas Goedert. We talked about this on the cram. I did bring it back with Chase Claypool. So this one here, we were talking about it yesterday, and Pickens and Claypool were both priced within 100. I knew that this stack was going to catch a little bit of ownership, but every single person I talked to, we did a build on stream. Everyone wanted to put Pickens in. Every single person who was running an Eagle stack was like, I want to put Pickens in. Trust me, I wanted to put Pickens in too. But when I look at the projections in the actual kind of ceiling outcomes, knowing that I was going to get Claypool at around 1% there, when I think they project very similarly, I decided to make that switch from Claypool to Pickens. Obviously completely meaningless. I did punt it off again with my boy Tyquan Thornton. Don't mind that at 2.3%. That play flops. And then Dallas Goedert. And so then I'm heading into the late slate. Oh yeah. And I have Tony Pollard chalk that crushes. So going to the late slate, I have Christian McCaffrey, Van Jefferson, and Texans D. So the swap I was looking at potentially, like the chalk, if my chalk had hit harder, you could have done Wan'Dale Robinson, Kenneth Walker, and the 49ers defense. I thought that was the best trio there if I was just trying to jam as many projected points into my lineup as possible. But I didn't think I could run into, 30% Kenneth Walker, 10+% Wan'Dale Robinson, and 10+% Niners defense there. So I did stick here with the McCaffrey, Van Jefferson Texans. CMC, great play, smash. I mean, Van Jefferson, let's take a second to tilt this Van Jefferson stuff. I did talk in the Discord about how I sensed a little bit of steam on Van Jefferson. I was seeing him in everyone's lineups. People who were playing Kittle, if you're playing CMC, he was just such a logical mini correlation there to save money. So I was a little worried about it. I obviously needed it in this lineup to unlock McCaffrey. But I think Van Jefferson at more than like 6 or 7% is probably a bad play. But we can still tilt this, right? Fucking Sean McVay comes out before the game. There's the report. He is going to come back and play his full complement of snaps. He's completely ready. Then you have right before lock, Jay Glazer confirms this. Van Jefferson's going to play, 40 to 55 snaps. The thing is we were all tilting, thinking he wasn't even on the field. I saw the snap rate tweet. Apparently he was on the field. Van Jefferson was doing cardio yesterday. They hired him to be an NFL wide receiver who catches balls, but instead he's getting paid to burn calories on the sideline. So yeah, that play hurt a little bit, especially when you're just fighting for your fucking life for a min cash and not the kind of min cash that's a Reignmakers pack. What even fucking Reignmakers pack did I win? I won. For my effort, I spent hours on this lineup. If you calculate the amount of time I spent preparing for this slate, updating my spreadsheet, doing practice builds, talking to JM, talking in the Discord, updating projections, fiddling with different mini correlations, looking at late swaps. And do you know what my fucking ROI is on a $100 lineup for finishing in 971st place? It's a fucking Elevate Rare Pack. The fuck's an Elevate Rare Pack, DraftKings? Seriously, what the hell is that? Why are you forcing this? That just give me, I would rather you take extra money out of my account. I would rather you take an extra $20 out of my account than give me an Elevate Rare Pack. And this is on me. This is on me. I entered this stupid contest. And I'm sitting here sweating. Everyone's like, get Christian McCaffrey out of the game. Why is he still in the game? And I'm like, no, keep this motherfucker in the game. I need to go from an Elevate Rare Pack to a $150 1.5x min cash. If you want to know where my GPP season is at right now, it's sweating, jumping the ladder from an Elevate Rare Pack to $150. That's where my GPP season is at right now. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I better get some content equity out of this. Have I even gotten this pack? I don't even know where I would go and find this stupid pack. I'm gonna have to go listen to a Lucky Trader Spaces on recording just to figure out how to do this. Like, where are these packs? Did I get the pack? Where's my pack? How have I not gotten this pack yet? DraftKings, if I win cash, they'll put it in my account the second the slate ends, so I pump it back into Showdown contests. But I win this goddamn pack, and they don't give it to me? What the hell? Go to Marketplace and then Portfolio? Isn't that where I'm at? Where the hell is this pack? They are sending you a physical pack. Kalish and Co., they had a change of heart. They said, hey, this Reignmaker stuff isn't working. We're actually going to pivot it to physical cards. Everyone will get a physical pack of cards. You lay them out on your table, and then you have to take a photo of your pack and upload it online. I bet we'd still get the ownership percentages faster that way. Red CYC says, I messaged DK. I scored 181 points. They will drop it. Be completely honest, Red. Is that the most depressing message you've ever sent in your life? Where is my Elevate Rare Pack? God damn it. I mean, just absolutely disgusting stuff here. Let's do the whole kind of like macro slate tilt. This, I will say, like, this was a pretty fire lineup. I did the same play with Tyquan Thornton and Van Jefferson. What was it? Was it last week or 2 weeks ago when I had the nuts early where you hit on the Tyquan Thornton 20+ game? I had, it was, who's the dust ball on the Saints? Traquan Smith. And I hit those two punt plays early. Oh, and that was Eno Benjamin chalk week, and I let it ride. So I've done this kind of double punt wide receiver before to unlock these high-end guys that a lot of people aren't going to play. Hurts at 6.8%, CMC 6%, AJ Brown 8%. It projected well in my sheet as well. Here you can see 183 ceiling projection, 83 cumulative ownership, and basically a non-existent product ownership there, with Tony Pollard being the only guy. So I felt good about this lineup. And there are weeks, I know it seems hard to believe at this point in the season, but there are weeks where you hit your contrarian ceiling plays and you get 30 from Hurts and 42 from AJ Brown and 40 from CMC, and you mix in a piece of good chalk and Tony Pollard, and this lineup finishes top 20 in a contest. There are weeks where that happens. This was not that week. No, let's go look at whatever bullshit lineup won first place. I mean, look how far off I was. Like, this lineup felt good. This lineup feels like a smash. It was almost 70 points off of the top lineup in the SPY. 70 points. We were not even close. Not even close. Look at this lineup here. Okay, so we have a Tua. So this is Kyle O, ships the SPY for 100K. You know who's not sweating an Elevator Rare Pack this morning? Did I call it Elevator Rare? Turning into such a boomer. Elevate Rare Pack. Kyle O is not sweating an Elevator Rare Pack this morning. Tua to Tyreek Hill, the skinny with no bring back, alpha skinny, Kamara and Pollard, the nut chalk running backs. How is Kamara only 13.2% in this, by the way? This is the first I've noticed it. Holy smash play there. What did Jacobs end up at? Holy cow. What did I have him projected for? What ownership did we have Kamara projected for? Let me go look. Let me go look at this. Where are we? Kamara, 20%? Okay. All right, so I guess he comes in just a smidge under. I thought for sure that would have been 25%. Whatever. DJ Moore, thought that was bad chalk. Boy, was I wrong on that. Garrett Wilson, I thought was going to be too steamy. 7.7% is fine. Foster Moreau, everyone told me, I'm pointing a lot of fingers this morning. I'm owning up for my mistakes, but a lot of people told me Foster Moreau was going to be mega steamed. I'm not going to name names, Leone. Deontay Foreman, 25%. Good play. Cowboys defense at 6.7% to correlate with Pollard. I mean, this is such a logical fucking lineup. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do a Tua alpha single without a bringback in that game. Like with AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, I think it's completely reasonable. We've seen the Allen Diggs, but man, the Tua explosion games, it's like someone is generally going off in that game if Tua and Tyreek are hitting that ceiling. But GG. I mean, absolute GG. Look at this balanced build here. Perfection. Just absolute perfection. I definitely made like some of my reads on Moreau ownership. Granted, I only would have used Moreau in a Saints Falcons or Saints Falcons, Jesus. Saints Raiders game stack. So that would have died with the Devontae Adams and the flu game and all that shit. Garrett Wilson, I would have used in a mini with Tyquan Thornton. So that would have bombed as well. So that's exactly what I'm telling myself. Great plays, but I wouldn't have played them as one-offs anyways. Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, Easy says, I don't know how people keep getting away with no bringbacks. And like I was saying, I feel like there's some combos where it makes sense, but both the Lions and the Dolphins, when they play their drunk games, like the whole game goes nutty. We know the Ravens spot against the Dolphins where both Mark Andrews and Bateman got there, Lamar got there. Detroit, coming off of two bad spots, their games when they shoot out are getting nutty there. I guess Jamal Williams did steal a ton of the production there. Yeah, I don't know what to say about these lineups here. What did second place? Did anyone not have a Tua? Because this was another thing I wanted to talk about. We were talking about a little bit in the Discord. Okay, here we go. I mentioned this in the Discord. This was a near optimal lineup when early in the week. So I post the ceiling optimal in there. And then I also do a run where you force a double stack and a bring back. So basically saying, what is the optimal double stack with a bring back on the week? And it was this fucking Marcus Mariota double stack with a DJ Moore bring back. And a lot of people balked at it. I think I mentioned this on the show with JM. And you balk at it because it's like, all right, maybe one of London or Pitts gets there. How are both going to get there? They didn't have to. London puts up 7. DJ Moore was the obvious bring back there. And you could have even just correlated the hell out of this game and tossed Deontay Foreman in there. But man, I had a version of this lineup sitting in my spreadsheet all week. I'll show you this one because I ran it. Let me get a screenshot of this thing. It wasn't exactly this lineup, but very close. This was, get off my screen. Get off my screen. This was the Mariota double stack. That was the ceiling optimal. Marcus Mariota to Drake London and Kyle Pitts. You bring it back with DJ Moore. This one had both Mostert and Tyreek Hill, so you needed to get Kamara there. Had 49ers defense and Kenneth Walker here. And so what does this guy do? So he gets to Kamara and then also gets up to AJ Brown instead of Tyreek Hill and then goes down to Waddle and then plays the Texans D. But you see, like, so fucking close to what the Opto was spitting out. Like, dangerously close. And what I am such an idiot. I bailed on my bit of putting in the ceiling Opto or a version of the ceiling Opto in the Baby Spy. Why did I bail on that bit? The bit is hitting. It's hitting hard. He says, love just being comfortable saying, yeah, I wasn't going to play that anyway. Might have to reevaluate the process at the end of the year, but week to week being comfortable with who I play is key. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. You will paralyze yourself. What is it? Paralysis by analysis. Like if you're trying to cover the board, so to speak, if you're the guy that goes to the roulette table and tries to put it on 19 different spots, not only do I think your focus in building the best possible lineup is going to be diluted, but it's also just impossible to capture every good spot, especially on a slate like this where there are so many good slots. So just having a conviction with what do I think my edge is on this slate? Some people it's lock buttoning a player. For some people, it is flipping the chalk build and building multiple, say, high-priced quarterbacks on a low QB type slate. Figuring what that edge is and then trying to hammer it. For some people, I feel like for JM, a lot of the times it'll be, you'll have a specific game environment. And then he talks about what are the ways you could catapult one of those lineups to the top. So it's like, I really like the Eagles spot here versus the Steelers. I'm going to build one that's a shootout with a bring back coming back. And then I'm going to build one that's a total blowout that say includes Miles Sanders in it instead of that. And so then that's your edge of honing in on that game. That's preferably how I would like to build too. I just can't get too spread out. I like to see it from a macro state. I think it's really helpful to run the optimals, look at all the numbers, know all the angles, but you will pull your hair out trying to quote unquote land on every single good play. And I actually think there was some discussion in the Hand Builders and Opto Bros channel last night about the Sam Ehlinger stuff looking silly in hindsight. And I actually had the opposite take. I think the Ehlinger stuff, and to a lesser extent, Malik Willis, and to anyone who was sharp enough to play Justin Fields or Marcus Mariota or even PJ Walker, that the thesis of this slate was there were so many high-end players who were in great spots, and that was borne out by CMC, by Kamara, by Tyreek, by the big dog, et cetera, that you needed to unlock salary somewhere to get to them, and there was basically no good punt options at wide receivers. So going cheap at quarterback was the skeleton key to the slate. It didn't end up being Ehlinger, didn't end up being Malik Willis. But if you think from a construction standpoint, that the thought of making sure you got in as many of those alpha players capable of dropping 40 points as possible, the better. And of course, you have the nut optimal lineups ended up being smoothed out lineups that just magically hit on Tyler Conklin and that kind of jazz. But I do think recognizing the slate dynamics and understanding that a cheap quarterback, I think that thesis was solid. Yeah. And that's the thing too. You're sitting here and you're watching this AJ Brown stack. And you're like, holy cow, it could have been more. I mean, he had all three of these touchdowns in the first half. I mean, about 80% of his points, 85% of his points were in the first half. We could have just gotten one big, I mean, I was praying for everyone. I said, could we just get one George Pickens, one Chase Claypool quick TD to close the gap on this game, to speed this game up? And instead we get Najee Harris trying to juke himself out of his own cleats for a 3-yard loss in the flat as the clock burns. You guys want to see a real trash lineup? How about we look at a real trash lineup? So, now we're cooking. Enough victory lapping my great lineup that fucking won an elevator pack. Now let's look at a true dust ball of a lineup here. This was in the 50K SPY. This one did have a swap. Let me show you the lineup first. So this was the lineup I walked into the day with. Sam Ehlinger, Kenneth Walker, Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, DeAndre Hopkins, Robbie Anderson, George Kittle, Wan'Dale Robinson, Eagles defense. So I like this lineup. I knew I wanted exposure to this Minnesota-Arizona game, and I wanted to make sure that I was overstacking it. That if this was the game that hit, and say the Detroit game failed, say the Las Vegas game failed, could this game alone vault me? And I did think it worked out particularly well. I'm not a big Kyler guy right now. Kirk Cousins, he generally has to have a pretty miraculous performance to be the optimal QB. So I thought this was the perfect spot to use an Ehlinger punt and then build through this game in a smart way. Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, a little bit of leverage off of the Irv Smith chalk, seeing if, Justin Jefferson fails, where could these touchdowns come from? And then DeAndre Hopkins, obviously alpha, and then Robbie Anderson, again, just trying to find some semblance of salary relief there. Thought maybe he would get used a bit more after getting acclimated with the offense. Then I did the Kenneth Walker, Wan'Dale Robinson mini that I knew I had swap options off late if I needed. Wanted to pay up to get Eagles defense. Again, this idea of kind of leveraging my own portfolio. I knew I was going to be heavy on the Hurts stuff. So it's like, well, what if they just absolutely tattoo the Steelers and the defense scores a couple touchdowns and Hurts doesn't get there? Well, I can take advantage of that on a non-Hurts lineup. And then George Kittle. I did want some exposure to George Kittle, ended up being happy with the percentage he came in at. So obviously early, I have Dalvin Cook and Hopkins who hit. And again, it just doesn't matter. On any other week, Dalvin Cook, 2%, 28 burger, you'd be doing cartwheels. DeAndre Hopkins, even at 25%, you're doing cartwheels at a 36. Adam Thielen, honestly, the 12.7 is fine at 3.5%, but chews up too much salary. And then Robbie Anderson, the GG coffin here, total snowflake, 0. So at that point, even with the Eagles defense, I knew just taking 12.7 combined from 10.2K of salary of my 2 wide receivers that I wanted to get off of Kenneth Walker chalk. So I was messing around with different combos. I thought, let's pivot this Ehlinger, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Kenneth Walker to a Tennessee, Houston quasi mini stack here. Basically a naked Malik Willis with Dameon Pierce and Chris Moore coming back. Big old brain Pete landing on Chris Moore, another snowflake in this lineup. I thought Dameon Pierce was a solid pivot off of Kenneth Walker, and I thought Malik Willis was a solid pivot off of higher Ehlinger ownership. Love the thought process. Hate the execution here. This obviously bombs, but this lineup was dead anyways. So that was just a Hail Mary late swap so I could collect my Skolansky bucks, tell myself that I'm doing the right things, even though life is meaningless and none of this matters. The bigger question is, who the fuck is Ronnie Rivers? Yeah, Matthew Berry had a tweet about this yesterday that he was going to have a pretty decent role for the Rams. We picked him up in a lot of our FFPC leagues before the 10 a.m. lock. The problem is just like in the land of the Rams running backs, like even the top dog is worthless. Like, I don't even know how. I mean, we've been stashing Kyron Williams too. I just don't even think it fucking matters. Darrell Henderson, Kyron Williams, Ronnie Rivers, like this team's so broken. And God, did they dodge a bullet with this Cooper Kupp injury not looking like it's going to hold him out. I mean, you want to talk about a stone cold coffin, the Rams without Cooper Kupp. That would be a train wreck of epic proportions. Sorry, AJ. We got a little nihilistic there at the end. Yeah, this was why it was like, you could even tell this year too, where, okay, Cam Akers falling out, normally a 0 RB bros doing backflips. All right, here's our time for Hendo. But man, Hendo is just such a jag, and the team does not like him at all. Yeah, I don't have any regrets about Ehlinger. And let's see what can we find. So Ehlinger ended up being 30% in this. I don't think that was bad. I mean, it was as close to, when you consider the slate dynamics, I do think Ehlinger was pretty close to a free square. And it's not like Ehlinger was 60%, right? At 30% for a true free square, I think that's good process there. Let's see what won this, and then we'll take a look at the Deposit Kingdom contest. The Fantasy Savant. You know what? Maybe I need a self-fulfilling username like Fantasy Savant. I just have this dipshit anagram of my name Meanwhile, there's people out here fucking manifesting 50K burgers. I am the fantasy savant. I am the fantasy savant. I shall run out a Tua triple with no bringback. What? A Tua triple with no bringback. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Trent Sherfield, no bringback. Tony Pollard, Deontay Foreman, Tyler Conklin, Derrick Henry. I mean, my God. My God. I'm trying to think, like, I guess, yeah, like where are you getting a Lion in here? You can't. None of the Lions fit at these price points. If you're getting in Pollard, Foreman, and Henry. Look at that. Look at that. That's a 50K lineup. Trent Sherfield, 4.5 points. You run a Tua triple with no bringback. And you win 50K. Would that ship the Millie? What's it? 247. Let's see here. The Millies. I did toss a line. I normally don't randomly just toss a lineup in the Millie, but at the last second, I was like, you know what? If Kyle Pitts goes bonkers and I don't have access to it, I'll lose my mind. So I did build this lineup at the 11th hour, toss it in the Millie Maker. Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, TJ Hawkinson, bringing it back with Jalen Waddle. Get the alpha AJ Brown. Get Kyle Pitts, Deontay Foreman mini. Raheem Mostert kills me. 49ers defense. Fun lineup. Very fun lineup there. No. So yeah, that lineup wasn't even close to winning the Millie. That lineup was what? 20 points? A little less than 20 points off. This was the winning Millie. To a double with no bringback. And then Kamara Pollard, Garrett Wilson, Conklin. I mean, the Conklin play was fucking sharp. I mean, with no Corey Davis, and I did think Garrett Wilson was going to be a little bit more popular. Elijah Moore retired. I mean, the Tyler Conklin play at 3,200, that was an alpha sick play. That was a sick play. Saints defense was very nice too. At home, leverage against the chalky Josh Jacobs. It's a nice team. A nice team. Look at that. I didn't even realize this too, right? They had everyone going at 1 p.m. Is this the cleanest sweat of all time? The cleanest sweat. You lock up $1 million at 4 p.m. Eastern, and then you sit around and those games dud. Sure, CMC and those guys go off, but you have such a massive lead. Was he even sweating anyone charging behind him? What was the closest thing he was worried about late? Derrick Henry? Okay, so maybe it wasn't the cleanest sweat. Okay. Maybe it wasn't the cleanest sweat, because when you have the big dog facing the Texans there and he's one, more 70-yard TD a run from bumping you down from $1 million to 125,000, I take that back. That's not a clean sweat. That's an agonizing sweat. Second had Houston defense. At least you had the big dog roughing up the Texans defense. That had to feel good. All right, let's look at the Deposit Kingdom. The Deposit Kingdom. So we did fill this tournament on, I think it was Friday. We had 400 entries. Maybe last time I had it set at 420, or did I do 425? I think I got to do 420 this week. Let's try to fill this at 420. I'll post the link in the Discord in the announcement section. I ran a different team in here. This was another team I built that I wasn't going to use for the bigger spies, but I did want to do one lineup where I overstacked this game. So had a Jared Goff to Amon-Ra and Hawkinson, similar to that Millie team, brought it back with both Mostert and Tyreek Hill. I think I might have done a late swap on this one. Did have Tony Pollard here as well, but Chris Moore, Brandon Ayuk, and Texans. Yesterday, I kind of had I want a 49er on on every lineup possible, whether that was 49ers defense, George Kittle, Ayuk, or CMC. All of those guys look like such good plays to me. But enough about this. I did not min cash my own contest. The Raging Cajun. Congratulations to the Raging Cajun here with another Tua double with no bring back. Kamara, Foreman. Oh my God. I'm just seeing this now. Double punt tight end. Look at that. The Raging Cajun. All y'all paying up for George Kittle, not me. I'm just going to fucking play Foster Moreau and Noah Fant. You can lick my nuts. I'm the Raging Cajun. Just ship the Deposit Kingdom tournament for $500. Jets defense, 8.3%. Did we get any super funky Deposit Kingdom ownership numbers in here? Most of these look fairly in line with the large field stuff. I guess Hopkins a little less. Hopkins at 15.8%. Nice team. Nice team. I mean, we're talking about how the cheap quarterbacks unlocked getting up to some of these guys. Well, what also would unlock it would be double punt tight end. Double punt tight end. Bottom third of this lineup, pure trash, and it don't matter. Tua, Tyreek, and Waddle combined for almost over a hundy. Foreman 34, Kamara 42, Hopkins 36. Alpha play. $500 was the top prize this week, Magnus. Super smooth payout structure. Super smooth. Look at this ladder, man. Should I ask DraftKings if they'll wipe out the bottom 50 prizes and change them to escalator packs? Clayton cashed in the Deposit Kingdom for the first time. 92nd place. Let's see what you ran out. Let's see what you did. Claydog 87 had the Ellinger, Pollard, Eno. Ooh, Eno only 4.3% in the Deposit Kingdom. I thought Eno was part of our collective community brand to only come in at 4.3%. Shame on all of us. Okay, I like this. So you did the Ellinger so you could jam 4 guys from this game: Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra, Waddle, and Hawkinson. Love that. Double tight end with Kyle Pitts. This is a fun team. This is a fun team. Nice work, Claydog. Hope, 54th for Hope. What did Hope do? Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, skinny with Tyreek Hill coming back. Get that Kyle Pitts, Deontay Foreman mini. God, that was a beautiful mini correlation. Kyle Pitts, Deontay Foreman. You eat the Pollard chalk because Pollard is a man. Let the Kenneth Walker roll late. Cardinals defense at 7%. This again, this is just such a nice lineup. It's just such a pleasantly nice lineup. And on a lot of weeks, this would have won you a lot of money, Hope, but not on this week. Not on this week. Look at you sickos already looking at the week 9 slate. Double tight end may be viable this week, says Chuck. I bet it is. I bet it is. All right, my guy Jason, 15th in the Deposit Kingdom equals 19th in the double spy. Is that serious? I guess the double spy is a pretty small contest. Let's see your lineup, Jason. Jason's been on a bit of a heater. Was in the 4-4-4 last week and got a cash. Rolled out the Tua. Oh, I love this. Overstack this game. Tua, Waddle, Gesicki. Bring it back with Khalif Raymond and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Eat the Kamara and Pollard chalk. Oh, and had Mostert. Okay, so this was a Tua triple with Raymond and Amon-Ra. This is a fun lineup. Patriots defense, couple chalk running backs. Easy game for Jason. Jason just plays the best fucking plays, correlates. It's like this guy has studied DFS. All right, yeah, let's read a trash lineup. 372nd place here for GL. Scrolling. Ooh, baby, this is going to be good, I can tell. 105.34. This is going to be good. Here we go. Sam Ellinger, Barkley, like the only elite running back, I guess what? Him and JT? The only running backs over 8K who bombed. And God, Barkley looks good out there too. It's just when CMC is passing, throwing, punting for touchdowns, you're just not going to get there. Kenneth Walker, Van Jefferson, bagel. Van Jefferson, 23.8% in the deposit kingdom. A little steamy there from the VIP crab on Sunday morning. Jalen Waddle, nice. Tyquan Thornton, nice but not nice. George Kittle, 9%. Man, I swear, I thought George Kittle had like 16 points, and now I'm just seeing it now, 12.9. Oh, and Jonathan Taylor. So you hitting elite running backs was, theoretically fish in a barrel yesterday, but you managed to miss the fish. You got both Barkley and JT in there. Tough scene. Chipsy came in 61st, and it's trash. I don't know, 61st. I would kill for 61st right now. This seems like a lot of points here. 181.14. Ellinger, Big Dog, Kamara. Oh, I love the Alec Pierce play. Can we just say, I do feel Karain was on this on ship chasing. I feel like the Alec Pierce thesis kind of hit, right? I mean, he was getting deep shot targets. I haven't seen the air yards numbers out of week 8 yet, but I have to imagine he was, I don't know, top 15, top 20 in air yards on the week. So I loved that play. No bring back needed. Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, Irv Smith, Mostert. So basically a cash lineup here, Chipsy. So yeah, this is absolute trash. Congratulations. You know how to use an optimizer, Chipsy. Mike P, what's the buy-in for the Deposit Kingdom weekly contest? It is a $10 buy-in. It is a $10 buy-in. Next week's going to be 420 entries. Yeah, Devontae Adams, man. What a rug pull that was. What a rug pull. Us GPP bros licking our chops. Ooh, no Darren Waller. Josh Jacobs chalk. You know what that means? Devontae Adams leverage. No. Yes, Mike, single entry. I'll post the link in the Deposit Kingdom Discord, usually Tuesday mornings in the announcements section. We can review a couple more here. Matt in 94th. Matt had the Jared Goff. Love the Miles Sanders play there. Pollard, Tyreek, ASRB, Waddle, Moreau, Callaway. I like that. I mean, with so few punt plays and a couple of them getting a little bit more popular, like when you really start to be like Van Jefferson at 23% or Marquez Callaway at 1.5%, it's just like, got to play the 1.5%. Everyone was playing some version of this. Tyreek Hill, 34%. Amon-Ra, 26%. Jalen Waddle, 24%. We didn't do Tilt Space yesterday because Joe was at the 1 p.m. Vikings game. Leone was at the Bills game. I'm the only schmuck that apparently doesn't go to NFL games on a Sunday. But these were our teams. We did similarly have this Jalen Hurts team that we were very excited about early. You're hitting on Hurts to A.J. Brown. You got fucking Deontay Foreman going nuts. And then it just doesn't matter. Tyquan Thornton, bombs. George Pickens, bombs. End up late swapping off of Kenneth Walker and Wan'Dale Robinson. These two were in the Wildcat. Neither of them cashed. This lineup looked decent, honestly. Dalvin Cook, Hopkins, Thielen, Tyreek Hill, Gesicki. It's just like a perfectly adequate lineup that just doesn't matter on a week like this. Let me pull that one up. Just a perfectly adequate lineup. Oh, so then I ended up doing a late pivot. What pivot did I do late? Van Jefferson, Rams, D. What did I have in there before? No. Okay. No, this one we let ride because there was nothing to do. Van Jefferson was our only guy going at 3K, so he had to eat that. So it was Ellinger. Yeah, it was 2 punts late, Ellinger and Van Jefferson. So he didn't really have salary flexibility to do anything else. Again, like no snowflakes early. Every guy clears 10 points. You get alpha spots from Cook, Hopkins, and Tyreek Hill. Just doesn't fucking matter. Does not matter in the Wildcat. This Jalen Hurts team projected very well, 193. I think the ceiling optimal was at like 208. So you're giving up about 15 ceiling points on the optimal and getting about 100 less percentage points of cumulative ownership, virtually non-existent product ownership. Doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Do you guys enter the same lineup 3 times in 3 max contests, or is that a dumb strategy? I'll put the same lineup in different contests, but I wouldn't put the same lineup in the same contest. I would do, if you're doing a 3 max contest, I would do 3 different lineups. But if you want to enter different 3 max contests and toss that in to different ones so you get paid off across those contests. Don says, Pete, this week felt like it emphasized the importance of taking advantage of the chalk fails week 2 and 6. I mean, you're telling me, brother, the problem is taking advantage of it is harder than it seems. I mean, week 2 in our tilt space lineup, we had that 2 a premium double in the Ravens game, and we still barely got paid off. I mean, I think we like 2x'd our buy-in with like the near nuts. It is very, very hard. And again, I think, my macro takeaway for all of this stuff is these contests are so fucking top heavy. It doesn't matter where you're playing either. You could be playing in the underdog battle royales. You could play in these DraftKings tournaments. It does not matter. They are so top heavy. And taking advantage when the chalk fails means building lineups that actually have first place equity. It means not playing scared that your boom bust wide receiver might put up a 0. Like, that's to me the takeaway of how you have to take advantage of these weeks. Because you can even be on the right game, but it doesn't matter if you're not getting enough ceiling in your lineup to actually get first place. What else do we got going here? I got to run in a second, but we can take a look at Showdown. So for those of you guys who don't know, in the deposit kingdom, if you are Hand Builder and OptoBro members, every Showdown slate, I run the sims and then I compare it to projected ownership across multiple sites to help identify the best leverage plays. If you guys are YouTube members, you guys can get access to that. I'll be posting it for tonight's game as well. And I've also been going through these early prop lines on Underdog and comparing them to projections, early projections. So I will continue to share those in there as well. I can just show you guys kind of what it looks like in here in the Discord for those of you who have been on the fence about joining us in there. So we'll take a look at stuff like the sim rate versus the average ownership. And then it just comes in handy for the hand builders out there as well. So if you're trying to find the best leverage spot, so this is for captain, you see, Diggs coming in slightly higher owned than his optimal rate. And then looking at the flex, my God, this is a painful reminder that I had a lot of Zach Moss last night. Still actually like the thesis on the Zach Moss play if they get blown out and he gets more touches, but whatever, we're moving on. Anyways, let's take a look. We'll do an early look at Monday Night Football. And then if you guys are interested, you can hop in the Discord and we will post updated ownership numbers later tonight. So as of right now, our top captain, no surprise, T. Higgins coming in with a 23.3% optimal rate. Although Joe Mixon, that's going to get me canceled. Joe Mixon, 18.3% for Joe Mixon. Who's our top flex rates? Are the kickers popping again? The kickers have been popping this year. Evan McPherson, 25%. Cade York at 18%. Why no tilt space? I just told you, Leone was doing fireball shots and jumping through folding tables, and Joe was coming back from a game. So could I have done a solo tilt space at 6 p.m. yesterday? Sure. but then I would have just been doing another solo tilt space at 10 a.m. And even for me, that's too much tilting. God damn it. God damn it. By the way, if you guys have I had a boost on my pick'ems. There was a Nick Chubb boost. See if you guys have that one. The projections liked the overs on the Joe Mixon one. I can show you guys. I'll give you a sneak peek. This is what I've been posting in the Discord here. I ran through it for tonight's underdog pick'em lines, although there wasn't anything super juicy. The slight lean on the Joe Burrow over 270 passing yards. Was looking at blitz and 4-for-4 projections, had him at an average of 287, so that's showing some value. Nick Chubb, 92.5 scrimmage yards, looked good. Lean on the over. The boost was on 82.5 rushing yards. That one looked pretty fair. 4-4 had a bigger number on Chubb. Cardi was more in line with the projection, but if you are using that boost, I like a slight lean on the over. I also kind of like this Mike Thomas one, 25.5, leaning the over there. The good Mike Thomas. Here's the thing with the tilt space. Like, if anyone actually ever has a tilt, everyone has a tilt. If anyone actually ever has a sweat, you can message me. It has to be like a legit sweat. I'm sorry, but chasing down an elevator pack does not count. But if you have a sweat, like it was GQ in the Discord last week, GX, now I forget his username. He had a nice sweat there in the Wildcat, came on, and then we mushed his team. That is the selling point. If you have a sweat and you want to come on the tilt space, we will mush your team in real time. All right, guys, I am going to pack it in. We will simply lick our wounds. We're going to turn the page on this god-awful Choctober of a month. Tomorrow is November 1st. No Chalk November starts tomorrow. I appreciate you guys. Come hang out in the channel, become YouTube members. That'll get you access to the Sunday morning VIP crams in addition to all of those prop lines and showdown stuff that I share in the Discord. Also just a very fun place to hang out and chill on Sundays. And by chill, I mean tilt your face off. Have a great week, guys. We will see you next time.
Thank you.